Pacific Rum Uprising, a cinematic masterpiece, a glorified toy commercial. We're here to discuss that today on the Go Man Go Toku Cast. Hey guys, as always, I'm your host of Frozen Stratos. Here with me today we have
Makotoa.
Dude, welcome back. On today's show, again, Pacific Rim Uprising. We saw it last night. We've had, a night to let our ideas on this movie sit. Michael, what are your thoughts? Your initial knee-jerk reaction thoughts?
My initial knee-jerk reaction.
Yes.
I came out of that movie like, I liked that so much more than I thought I would. Gosh. Whoa. I was, and like, I didn't realize until after the movie when I looked it up that its predecessor, the first one, was 5 years ago.
Yeah. It's been a while.
Holy crap, has it really been that long? Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm just so surprised that this made it to the theaters again. I think
I'm so happy that it did.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think it might have had a lot to do with, like, John Boyega being on, like, attached to it, his name getting buzzed, but, like, honestly, I thought, like, I went in going for just looking for a toy commercial, and I got exactly what I wanted. Like, it met my base level expectations, and I came out very satisfied. Very sad. Like, I have not seen a cinematic toy commercial that well done, for a robot toy commercial that well done in years, maybe since the last Pacific Rim. Just because there's been this vacuum, I suppose, for robot toy commercials since Transformers ain't pulling its weight.
I mean, I think for others out there who aren't looking for a toy commercial, we should probably let them know. Because I'm not in it for the toys as much as you are, but at the same time, like, I think there was a nostalgic personal bias that came out of me during some of the fight scenes, because holy crud, I don't know what it was, if it was the visuals and the music combined, something triggered my inner nostalgia for Bionicle.
Oh,
I don't know what it was, and I was just like, oh my gosh. This looks so cool. This reminds me of all that.
Hold on. Like, you said not to discuss it as a toy commercial, but your feelings are coming.
I know. That's why it's like, I don't know what we're going to do here. We're both...
Well, I think it really comes down to how the movie looked and how well the story sort of was integrated into it all. The story was fine. It gave you enough to where it moved us from scene to scene. Like, I don't feel like it was anything spectacular in terms of story, but it was just enough to get me in. You know what I mean?
Here's how I viewed the story. It was better than Transformers. Insert number here. Like, all the convoluted stuff that you got in the Transformers, like this, that, and the other thing, that they tried to make so serious in certain points, and you were just coming here to watch a bunch of giant robots beat each other up, right? Like, and not, humans, like, cracking these trashy jokes and then suddenly trying to have an emotional moment in there. I love this movie for the fact that it like the predecessor, like its last one, it knows what it is, which is like tokusatsu in a sense, and it accepts that a little bit. It embraces that, I think, and the goofiness or the quirkiness that comes along with it, because there were some parts where you just kind of had to be like, okay, this probably doesn't make any logical sense in the real world, but we'll just go along with it with this movie, because the tone doesn't feel like it takes itself too seriously.
Yeah, the thing that really exemplified it for me was the not Bracer Phoenix, it was something.
Are we spoilers? Are we spoilers for this review?
Okay, yeah, we're spoilers, I guess, but this one is a really light one. The thing that got me, like, in it, like, it was far into the movie, but the thing that really got me was the moment where the one with the whips, the electric whips, he jumps up in the air. The kid says, "Go for the eyes." Which ones? All of them. Because like you, as a kid, as a teenager, which he is, you think it sounds cool. Like if you don't think about it, it sounds so cool, but it doesn't make a lick of sense. And that mentality and that dialogue coming from that character, I thought it was perfect. It fit him perfectly, and I think it really helped to, if the tone hadn't already been set, that was a really good tone setter. Like that, this is sort of a small microcosm of what you're in for. You know what I mean?
This is a movie for fun.
It is fun.
For big robot fun.
Honestly,
like
this was some of the most fun I've had in a movie in a while. Like it's not that you had to turn your brain off, because there were some things to follow. Like, and this did flow into some plot threads from the first movie. But. And,
I had to try and jog my memory. I'm like, wait a minute. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember now.
But here's the thing. Does the movie stand on its own? What do you think?
I absolutely believe so, because I was in the theater with 3 other people who apparently had not seen the first one.
Oh my goodness.
I assumed at least one of them had seen the first one. But no, all three of them. All three of them did not see the first one, and they still enjoyed the movie a lot. Like there was a point where like John Boyega character dies, right, and the relational moment between them is like, people in the audience might have been confused. Wait, who is she again? Who's she to him? And I was about to whisper over to one of my friend's ears, like, that's actually this is who he is. To, I don't know. Should I say it? Is this spoilers? Is this a big spoiler?
I guess
Probably.
We said it was spoilers. So if you've made it this far and you don't want to be spoiled, come back later.
Come back later. Yeah.
Yeah. So go for it.
So I don't. Oh, gosh, I don't remember her name, but
Mako,
the
Mori.
sister. The sister dies, and you're just like, oh, that's right. They're kind of like brother sister. But then he explains to one of the other characters that father adopted her, raised her like his own.
Yeah.
He, for all intents and purposes,
yes,
he was. They were brother and sister. Like nothing happened, and like. That was good enough to explain to everyone. I didn't have to say anything, because I felt like that was a little bit necessary information, and they provided it. That's what they did with other parts, like how the guy was like. I don't know if maybe a flashback would have helped a little bit better, but the scene where the 2 scientist dudes first introduced into her.
By that point, we've already introduced the drift. He said he drifted with a kaiju, and then also we got that establishing shot with Alice, which was something else.
But yeah.
So
it is a standalone, in my opinion. You don't necessarily have to watch the first one.
Yeah, you don't have to, but it's like really good. I don't want to say it's supplementary material, because that's a really good movie in and of itself. But I do think that you'd benefit a lot from watching it. I don't think it's like Marvel levels of Entangled, but it's certainly enough to where you will be rewarded for watching it ahead of time. Honestly.
Comparatively, if I'm going between the 2 movies, I think that from what I remember 5 years ago, I think that the pacing was a bit slower in the first one, which I think I enjoyed more. The pacing for this movie was just like, there was you didn't sit on a single scene very long, and it kind of bothered me a little bit, but at the same time, they did seem to have a lot of content to get through.
Yeah, there was a lot of exposition that they had to deliver, and I thought speeding through it and sort of glossing over a few things, that's fine. I was pretty okay with it
Get
because
to
like
the big battles, come on, like
yeah,
you
but I
know.
mean like I'm glad we started with a bit of action. The first bit of the movie I was a bit hesitant on, just because it
Same.
was a dark scene and it was like fighting at night. The visuals were all shaky and quick, and I couldn't quite catch a lot of the beats of the fight. But when you bring the lights in, everything cleared up. Like the movie just, it felt like we were transported into a new movie. You know, what did you
I
think?
actually.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh,
Continue.
no. I was just gonna ask a question, but
I I was not. I was surprised how much I enjoyed John Boyega's performance by the end of the movie. Because
yeah,
at the
yeah.
beginning, I was not jiving with his character at all. But by the time, once he started getting into they got roped into being cadets and stuff again, or commanding officer or whatever.
Yeah.
That's when I started liking his character more and more and more.
Yeah, when he
And
was
then
a different character, you started
when he was
liking
a
him
different
more.
character.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That
yeah.
establishing part, sure. It was okay, but I'm glad we quickly disposed of that cuz it didn't really
Yeah,
feel too necessary to the rest of the plot. Like they needed to portray him as like this uh you know, like bad boy, typical
well, it
all that
also
sort of
did.
stuff.
It also did the audience, especially the audience who hadn't seen the first one, enough, exposition about what the world is like as it is now, present.
It did, but what it did for John Boyega's character was a sum total of
Yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
But
I
what it did do was perfectly set up the female character. I forgot her name. Um
yeah,
but I will say going into it, oh, here's her Mac scrapper. Going into the movie, I had some expectations for her character. I don't know if you saw Transformers 5 or did I steer you away from that?
I believe you steered me away.
Okay, good. There's this girl, this mechanic girl in the movie that shows up at the beginning, disappears, and then shows up at the end. I thought that this was an opportunity for this movie to do that character type correctly, and it did it almost flawlessly. That just following through with that character type, it worked.
It did it. It did it well. I think that there were moments where she was with her teammates and they were super rushed, super rushed.
They were. I
'Cause
don't like. I'm not talking about them specifically. I'm just talking about her character. Like
I did.
we got
I
all
got
the
enough.
proper setup. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like
I get enough.
I say perfectly in the sense that like you have a path to follow and you followed it just right. You know what I mean? Like you didn't deviate too far on either side of good or bad. You right in the center.
Okay.
Yeah. And each of the characters, the support characters, they had enough flavor to where I thought, okay, yeah, these are fine as like a support crew, but I don't know that they'd be enough to like that I care enough about these characters to really care that they're dying in the mechs. You know, I didn't have too big of an attachment to them. The one that really I like, the only useless character I found was the Latina girl who kissed them both on the cheek and like was also a mechanic. I don't know why she even existed in this movie.
She existed so that the audience would not confuse the two commanders as a gay couple.
Oh. But no.
I mean, they had a few moments.
Oh yeah, they did.
Like,
he is pretty. Yeah. I really liked to jump into other characters. Let's go back into like the legacy characters. I did like the inclusion of the two scientists and Mako specifically. Man, that sucked when she bit the dust, huh?
Yeah.
I was a little heartbroken.
They also, for whatever reason, decided to kill the other current commander. Like, the whole hub, just boom. I don't understand why they decided that was necessary, but...
I don't know. It was a neat shot. What I think this movie was good at as well was giving you those what-ifs. You know, they played around with their what-ifs, like, what if we mixed a Jaeger with a kaiju? What if, what if the drift between a kaiju and a human had ramifications? Just tons of what ifs.
The kaiju blood and rare earth elements.
Yeah, all up in Mount Fuji.
Also, I was and that's funny how they kind of tied that into why they were attacking the city or something.
Yeah,
I don't know, but,
I mean, whatever works.
Sure. All right. Why not?
As long as we get us there,
I was able to forgive this movie for things like that more.
Oh, certainly.
Than other movies because this movie doesn't take itself too seriously. And it was going through some of that exposition. It's like, oh, if this, then this. Or, when they were hacking their own computer systems. And
that was fun. Yeah, sure.
It's like,
go for it. Do it.
You just do that.
I remember
pretend like this makes so much sense when you're just...
Yeah,
it's just cool scenes. That's all you made it to be. And you know what? I like the characters enough. I like the mechs enough. I like the giant monsters enough, actually. I really like those designs, too. Sure. Yeah. This is fine with me. As long as you don't have the raunchy humor that Transformers did, we're golden.
There was one scene in particular, this one quick flash, that sort of exemplified that part for me. It was like the Chinese lady going, feedback loop, and then it cut away. Like, they cut to her, feedback loop, she says it, and then they cut away. Like, oh yeah!
Yeah, you're right.
Alright! What?
Like, if you're going into this thinking that this is going to be, like a freaking Batman Returns, where you're gonna have to okay, I gotta be present mentally, watch every little thing because something's gonna be here that I need to remember, and no, you can have fun with this. This is a summer popcorn flick.
But it's not to say that there aren't threads to still pick up on. It's
the
not
The plot twist actually got me. I thought it was gonna be the Chinese lady who was like the villain. Honestly,
yeah, that got me
really
too.
Did
when she showed up in Scrapper? Ooh, boy, I was turned. Oh, that was dope though, because not only that dealt with two other what ifs. Like, what if you made a Jaeger specifically for one pilot, and then what if you could remote control it? And that's what she did. That was so cool. I don't know, because it tied into a lot of the elements of those characters already. Like, you needed the one pilot and you needed an automated one.
If theoretically this could work in one day. Like,
what does theoretically mean? Today,
yes. Okay, I can forgive any of that because I absolutely love his quirkiness.
Yeah,
that he brings to this movie. It made this movie a lot better because it was so cartoonish that it helped me make this movie seem to be
everything.
Not as serious.
Yeah,
same with the other guy a little bit. The
Charlie
other scientist. He had kind of a you're fired. No, you know what? You're promoted. Let's see at the end of the day which one it's gonna be. I don't know. The things he was saying, even though he was the villain, he became comical.
Yeah, and I mean, technically it's not his fault, and it kind of sucks that that's where his character landed, specifically for his counterpart. Did you see the interview that they had with those two actors?
I did not.
Oh, it was hilarious. The interviewer just straight up asked, "Hey, so there's a lot of people online shipping your characters. Can you tell us about that? And he's like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I ship them too. It was great. And actually, it informed a lot of my character decisions and a lot of my character quirks in the film itself.
I remember that moment where he's like, I'm not usually a physical touch person.
Yeah,
and then he just hugs the guy like...
Their scene in the elevator was exquisite.
That's right. That happened. And I forgave it. I don't know why I forgave it. I ended up forgiving it. It was so bad, and like it didn't make any sense, but I just forgave it, and it was like, what? Okay.
Because like honestly, it's just a lot of fun. All the actors are having a lot of fun, and it really resonates on screen. You feel it. You feel the fun that they're all having.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really helps that this is a, giant robot fighting each other, and like the fact that it was so quick, fast paced also helped because it was like it was getting you to what the movie thought was important. It wasn't trying to become too emotional. Like they had the drift scene where it's like the flashback, but they didn't try to set in like these depressing, super long, drawn out emotional problems.
You got exactly as much context of their struggle as you needed.
As much as they needed to drive them to the next
scene,
scene or next point, decision even. So you got enough of that, but the movie focused on the fun. It was like, we're not going to take 10 minutes to have them get, all right, I'm suited up, all engines go, like that kind of stuff. No, they didn't. That's like Transformers for like how much of the movie when they're doing that kind of like, here's the, White House and here's the head of CIA and they're like, getting everything. Okay, I need this on this right now. Get your ass together. Like that kind of stuff. It's just
left cheek.
Yeah, it takes up so much of the movie, and it's like this. It's no.
Yeah, we don't need just like aggressive yelling for nothing. Like to me, this was honestly the right amount of fun for a movie. Like this was just enough. This was, I don't know, like if you want to have fun, if you like fun, this movie's for you. Honestly, like. There's just enough in all the places to where you feel like you're getting enough out of it, and I felt like I got enough out of it. Like I spent $6.75 for this movie. Would have easily spent 10.
I spent 12, and I was still satisfied with my purchase. So wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that just about does it for us. Michael, do you have any quickie small or like overall thoughts?
Overall thoughts, really fun movie, especially since I think coming from you, Corey, since you're more invested in the franchise than I think a lot of people will be. And you you didn't nitpick it to death because
no, I didn't because they did a good job at cleaning it up.
Yeah, exactly. So there's like, it's a series, it's a franchise, it has, I don't know how beloved it is in the West, but for those like yourself who are invested, you believe that they appreciated and took care of the property well.
Yeah.
They didn't screw it up, because it's, a lot of the times a big issue with the movie, like if most of the audience, which I think the Western audience, I can say this, is not super invested in this franchise as much. So when they go to see it, it is going to be like our feelings here. It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
It was enjoyable. I could let certain things go because I wasn't so invested in everything being perfect and everything being a certain way. And even when you are a huge fan of the franchise, like yourself, it respected it well and it handled it well.
So you're saying it worked on both fronts.
It worked on both fronts, and I can imagine that if you're a casual audience member, you will still thoroughly enjoy the movie, even if you haven't seen the first one.
Yeah. Like, honestly, in the trailer, in the initial trailer, there was immediate confusion because, like, I look at, like, what mech is what, and then there were some inconsistencies there, and those were all taken care of. Like, why does Bracer Phoenix have what's this guy's arm in the trailer and not in the movie? Oh, okay, that's explained. Why does Gypsy Danger suddenly have 2 swords? Oh, because they're Obsidian Fury's swords. So, like, they even say it. There's lip service to everything. Nothing is missed in terms of consistencies with mechs. If that's your small thing to be nitpicky about in movies, I don't know. It did it for me. It's perfectly fine, guys. I definitely recommend this movie. Michael, thanks for sitting here and talking about this movie with me. If you liked this video, hit that like button and subscribe if you want to hear more from us each week. And also, there's going to be something special happening next week. We're going to WonderCon, or at least I am, and we're going to be bringing you maybe a bit of coverage on that. Follow my Twitter, follow the Go Mango Twitter. We're going to be retweeting some stuff about WonderCon and what's going to be happening. I'm going on Saturday. Gonna give you some coverage on the Power Rangers Boom Studios panel and a whole host of other things. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Keep it juicy.
Later.